just because we're kind of on this topic, I had a specific question I want to ask you about libertarianism. But now I'm going to make it 2 questions because another one just popped into my mind and they're related.
This is the one, huh?
This is the one.
Hit the button.
Hit the drop.
With that, let me ask you this.
There we go. We got a little drop for the YouTube folks for that one. Segment called "Let Me Ask You This." So let me ask you this, Trix. First question: how is it that you would define a libertarian?
Okay. For me, someone that doesn't believe that they should use the government to infringe on other people. Really, a true libertarian should never believe in the infringement of others in general. But I also would say, like, I used to say fiscally conservative, socially liberal, but that's not really the case anymore because there's plenty of socially conservative libertarians, like a lot actually.
Yeah, especially
so
these
it's not
days.
really that, but I would say as long as you don't think that you should be able to impose your morals on others, like, or your value system, you shouldn't be able to use your value system and impose that on other people and try to force people to you know, live the lifestyle that you think needs to happen.
Well, I think considering what knowledge I do have on the subject, that seems to check all the boxes as far as libertarians. So my second question for you, we'll phrase it this way because you might not think there is, but if there is a problem with the generalized Libertarian Party in this country, what is their biggest problem?
Oh my God, I think there's a few.
Right. It's the seatbelt. It's the seatbelt argument. For God's sakes, people, get over that.
I would say one is not being able, like, being inconsistent in that earlier statement that I just made. Like, there is that happening. Like, the more conservative libertarians have a hard time with the ones that aren't, and then the more socially liberal libertarians have a hard time with the ones that are socially conservative. And like, there's always like this split, and that is the problem, is that they can't get fucking along. Like, that's why there's that meme where it's like libertarians, and it's like they're all like, the libertarian is like the kid on the ground, and like the libertarian's like punching the kid, and there's a libertarian recording it and a libertarian pointing and laughing. Like, that meme is like so fucking accurate, because libertarians fucking fight with each other more than they fight with other people. Like, libertarians all fucking hate each other, and that is our problem, is that we all just need to like fucking get along. I went to the Mises Caucus event in New York City, and then 2 days later I went to a Reason magazine event. Those two groups do not fucking like each other, but I like both. Like, I really like Reason. I might not agree with them on certain things. Like, they occasionally have said things where I'm like, fuck. And then like, even Mises Caucus, like, there are certain things that they've said or had someone that's involved with them said. I don't really like to like say they, though, because it's like, it's just because we're associating in groups, and at the end of the day we're all an individual. So like, even though I like associate with the Mises Caucus, anything I say shouldn't reflect on them. And anyone else that associates in the Mises Caucus, anything they say shouldn't reflect on just the Mises Caucus in general. It's like a baseline of ideas that we all agree on. Everything else is kind of like, it doesn't really matter. And everyone just gets distracted and is focusing on these like minute details.
That seems about libertarian. You know, that's like the classical problem with libertarianism.
Yeah, and at the Reason magazine event, like, I would tell people, I was like, oh yeah, I just came from the Mises Caucus event, and it would be like immediate shift of energy. Like, people would be like,
shun the non-believer.
Oh, those right-wing people. And I was like, but they're not. Like, I was like, I'm very socially liberal. I'm a bisexual, ambiamorous, like, fucking, like, wild card. I produced variety shows. I managed a strip club for 8 years. Like, I'm extremely like on that socially liberal side without being, I'm just not woke. That's it. It's like, but I still believe, for my lifestyle, they would probably, a lot of the more conservative libertarians would think I'm a degenerate. You know, like, so I don't know. That seems to be the big issue.